Yo, I hope you living well. I just got back from Boston. I performed with my homies. Shout out to them for inviting me over there. And you know, oh, man, just from the top, like it was a 12-hour bus ride, and that thing was treacherous, but it actually wasn't as bad. Like I actually slept. Normally, like I'm the type of person that like when it comes to a bus ride or like long flights, like I usually don't sleep too much. Like I take one nap right before we get there, and then like I wake up and we're like leaving. Like, but I usually don't. I usually just stay up through the whole time. I find something to do, and it was a good ride over, but when we got to the performance, like we had such a blast. It was so dramatic, it was so energetic, and I'll have a video that is going to be up at some point that I'm gonna work through. And it just was such a great time. Like got to really connect with people, meet some amazing people that give further inspiration that like a new world is possible, a new culture is possible, an open one that's more vulnerable, that's more transparent, that is more honest is possible, and at the same time one that allows people to be open in who they are, right? And so it was super dope being able to go to Boston and be with the peoples and just open up space for more vulnerability than already was, you know what I mean? And to always meet people like you guys is great because not only is it like inspiring, like as far as like what the world can be, but it's also just like it's just another one of those reasons that just keeps you like going further. Like I'm a big believer in that you need to have like an internal reason, but I'm not gonna also say that like external things don't matter because like to me, if you can feel like something that inspires slash motivates me is like people feeling like they can be themselves, especially surrounding music, or like feel safe within my music, or to be able to find a sense of solace through it, you know? And all of that further is just like external, of course, but at the same time, it is also internal. And they just are further motivators to just keep doing what you're doing, keep on moving, keep creating, keep being open, keep being, putting yourself out there. You see what I'm saying? For me. And so it's so beautiful to be able to develop relationships, but at the same time, to be able to have the opportunity to connect and be further inspired by you guys. And that performance was all that and then some. And some things that I took away from it were to have the ability to discern what is worth it and what's not. And the reason I say that is because you got to know what's worth it to you and why it's worth it. Because if I didn't know what was worth it to me, I wouldn't have even went over there. For me, anything that's going to embrace this new culture, anything that's going to allow for further harmony, further peace, or a sense of space and time to exist, like is always going to be worth it because it's something that can inch us closer to what the world can be, right? And so for me, it's worth it in that way. And of course, like that's like me speaking from the artist, right? Like business wise, it's like an opportunity to connect, meet people, and build relationships longer term, or ones that can um, further reinforce more like truth and authenticity and like who we are. Always worth that. You see, and at the same time, the reason I say this is because every decision you make comes with a certain level of oomph to it, if that makes sense, and in order to accept that, you have to also be able to accept and move beyond fear that surrounds those decisions, right? Like, it's the idea of going somewhere by yourself, like, and not knowing the space at all can be very scary. But at the same time, like, it's also a risk that you have to be willing to take because it's those kind of things that you do that are right at that fear, right? Those kind of fears, when you push past that, it's kind of like that meme where like that guy was digging in the dirt and he turned around with his pickaxe, but then on the other side of the wall was gold. Like, on the other side of your fear is gold. When you step into that deep pond, or that pond you thought was deep of water, which is your fear, right? Like, you step in it to realize that it's only an inch deep. It looks a lot worse than it is. A lot of times things are scarier than we think they are. And when you go and let yourself do it, you find out further that, oh wow, it's not as bad as I thought. Or it's like, because most of the time we think things are going to be worse, or we think things are scarier than it really is. And that affects the decisions that we make. It limits us to taking risks, whether it be in music, whether it be in arts, whether it be in taking stocks, whether it be in moving jobs or moving places. Um, you can't let fear rule you in this world that's coming in. You have to let your faith guide you. Your faith in yourself, faith in what you believe in. And so ultimately, like, one of the biggest things I took away from it was to be faith led in decisions and not let fear rule my decisions, right? And also, further, it made me realize even more, or more so affirmed, that like performances are a super great way of like making space for vulnerability and showing people what's okay in the sense. Because, like, when you think about it, a performance is just like a stage, right? So, like, if you're on that stage is basically broadcasting what is acceptable, what's not. And so, depending on what you present on that, you can open the door for what is acceptable. And, like, I'm not gonna hold you. Um, Something I didn't realize I said until after was that I had a track that I was doing in the middle of the performance, and I had to like pause it for some reason. I don't even remember why I said it, but we had it paused up, and I told him, I'm like, when you have like nerves, like there's good nerves and bad nerves, and a lot of the times we just kind of look at nerves as just nerves, but nerves can be good, like excitement, and after that, I was saying how like like for me, like I'm like right now, and it's just because like I'd be so excited, but like I also be so excited, so I'd be like like loading up, like my Super Saiyan be going crazy, you know what I mean? And so this is to say like it performance spaces allow for more vulnerability and allow you to like show sides of yourself that you normally don't, and at the same time show people like that you can say these things, or like these things are okay, like you don't have to act as much, like it just opens the opportunity to be real with people in a way that normally, like, a lot of times we're kind of just moving, going about our days, kind of going scripted, because like a lot of times we just have our regular script. Like you wake up, you go to work, you go do this task, you leave, you go do your thing, you do this, like, and it's just that. You know what I mean? But routines in that way, like, aren't going to make a change. And it's not to say, okay, a routine, it's not to say that at all. It's just to say that, like, you got to be real with yourself, and change only happens when you're being real with yourself in that way. And so, all that to say, performances open up space to be real and be vulnerable. And risks are scary at times. Decisions all come with a risk, but you gotta know why and what is worth that risk. You feel me? Otherwise, I had some good food. It was good lighting. Like where I'm at right now, you ain't got like you can see it's lit outside right now, and you dig what I'm saying. That's why my room lit up, or my place lit up. But still, like having more direct sunlight, not as clouded, is also always beautiful. Always feels great to be able to be with homies. Makes so much of a great time. Spend your life connecting with people that understand you and want to invest in you. So you don't end up spending your lifetime translating your soul for people's minds. That was a random one, but it very much also encapsulates the experience of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so I'll have some videos up for that soon. If you haven't listened to Is It Morning Yet? And it's on all streaming platforms. I'll be sharing with you guys a little bit more about the project, like day by day for sure. And what's it called? Otherwise, I have music videos coming up. I opened my phone and that got me so distracted. Did you see that? Like, did you see how easily like your phone literally gets you off like your idea of what you got going on? Like, oh my gosh, it's so crazy. But music videos are gonna be coming out soon for Is It Morning Yet? And some lyric videos for sure. Of course, we're working on new music. Um, gonna have something releasing each month for you guys because you deserve that. And at the same time, we all be having fun. You know what I mean? Contribute to the fun. But hey, you know what it is. Peace out, primo. And do peace like this because peace don't make no sense like this. Why would peace be separate? It's supposed to be together. You feel me? Like, bye.